Hello everyone. Students often ask me questions about how they should attempt the actual exam, right? When they're sitting with the exam in front of them, should they start with the MCQ section? Should they start with a section C question? Which order should they go in for the exam? So in this video, I'm going to briefly give you some tips on how you should go about attempting the exam, which will hopefully help you on exam day. So to start off, go for the easiest 50 marks first. See, the fact of the matter is you need 50 marks to pass. Now, some of the marks will be an MCQ on maybe activity-based costing for 2 marks, which will take way more than the 3.6 minutes on average you have per MCQ. And you might also have an MCQ on environmental management accounting theory for 2 marks, which will only take you a few seconds to do, right? So even though both questions are for 2 marks, one is clearly easier than the other. So go through the exam when you get it and look through the questions, the MCQs, the section C questions, look at the topics that are covered there. There will be certain topics you like that you find easy. Focus on those questions first and try to build momentum and confidence by attempting those questions first. Get the easiest 50 marks first, leave the more difficult questions for later and come back to them, okay? So that brings the second point, leave time-consuming questions for the end. So these are typical calculation questions. So with the ACCA Performance Management exam in mind, you can have your activity-based costing calculation or your advanced variance calculations, right? The mixed yield variance calculations, etc. These questions will take you more time. So leave them ideally for the end. Get the easy ones, the theory-based questions, etc. The analysis-based questions out of the way first, okay? And do not waste too much time on one question. If you find that you're getting bogged down on a question, you're spending way more than the allotted time on that question, just move on. Leave it, move on. You can come back to it later, okay? Now, this does not mean that you skip and leave questions and run out of time, okay? If you're running short on time, then make sure to just guess, right? Attempt all the questions. Do not leave any questions unanswered. It's better to have all the questions answered with decent answers than to have some questions with perfect answers and some questions left blank, okay? Attempt all the questions. There are no negative marks. You need to attempt them all to increase your chances of passing. And like I said, if you do not know, then guess. So there's no negative marking. If you have an MCQ that you have no idea what the answer is, you guess it, you get it right, you'll still pass and you'll still be an ACCA even if you didn't know the answer, okay? So there's no negative marking, guess. So if you're running out of time and you still have 5 MCQs left that you haven't attempted, just take the last few minutes, quickly guess and fill out some answers, right? That will at least have some chance of you getting them right. And finally, for section C, something the examiner stresses over and over again. Read the requirements carefully, okay? The main issue is that sometimes you will not read the requirement carefully and you'll write an answer which in your mind is very good, but it's not addressing the requirement. So you in your mind think, okay, I'm getting 10 marks for this answer, when in reality you might be getting 0, okay? Read the requirement carefully. Make sure to underline, digest what is being said, and make sure you address all the requirements there, okay? Read it carefully initially, read it again and again while writing your answer to make sure you're not deviating from the requirement, okay? Do that and then you'll ensure your best chances of getting a good mark in that question. So with all these tips, I hope these benefit you. Please keep them in the back of your mind when attempting the exam, and all the best for the upcoming session.